Brilliant young Norwegian here.
Kjetil André Aamodt from Oslo.
Olympic champion, Kjetil André Aamodt, Norway.
It all started because my father, he always wanted to have alpine skis himself, but he didn't get it from his parents. He said, use every day of your life to become a better sportsman.
3/10. Kjetil André Aamodt, the 34-year-old veteran, has turned in another great Olympic run.
When you can call yourself an Olympic champion, it means something for the rest of your life. I won 8 Olympic medals, 4 gold medals, but you're never better than your last result. My name is Kjetil André Aamodt. I'm in Oslo now, driving to a party. Today is Friday night. It's the last day of the TV show that I made this summer called Familiens Ære, or Born Winners. Let's go in. Hola, hola. Går det bra?
Ja,
Ja.
så godt å se deg.
Hola. Hola. Er det bra? Er det bra?
Hyggelig å se deg. Nå må de andre familiene konkurrere om den siste plassen i finalen. Og det som står på spill, det er familiens ære.
I'm calm now, you know. I don't really need to do anything special to prove myself. I'm happy with the life I'm living. It's quite... the only goal I have is for my children to be happy, actually. If you really want to be good, you stay on the pitch after the game for 5 hours and play with your kids. I know that because I know what it takes to be an athlete. You have to love it every day, 24 hours. Det var 6-6, men jeg må tenke meg. So that is a little bit the basic philosophy of the Aamodt family growing up on the poor side, on the east side of Oslo, to become athletes.
It was quite strict with love. When we were training, I was the coach, and when I was at home, I was father and a coach. Yeah, it was a family team. And we had a lot of fun, and we had a good time. So it was natural for us to do that. I can see the potential, especially in Kjetil, when he was quite young. He skied very well.
As a family, we were close. I don't know, both stressful and peaceful at the same time. But he wanted us to do our best. After a while, Finn wanted us to become more professional, and we were training every day. When he was 12, 13 maybe, Kjetil was also in his mind set that he wanted to be best. He was more into it than more focused, you know.
I enjoyed it. I enjoyed skiing, I enjoyed sports. Nobody at my age has been training more than I have been training. So maybe it's not that strange that I'm actually here right now.
Everything has a consequence in life. And in sport, you learn this very fast.
On the phone booth, 1981, I called my father, listen, we've been training 6 hours every day. You know, I'm 10 years old, my sister is 12, we haven't been eating so much, we don't have money. Maybe we should go home. I asked my father. And then he was on the other side of the phone. Didn't we prepay that cabin for 5 days? I think you should stay up there. Good luck. Bang.
I don't think it was hard. I think it was necessary.
Kjetil was a very dedicated person, passion, and loved skiing, loved training, and he trained a lot. It's very much about timing. and using the power in a good way. And there is rhythm.
The first time I saw and observed Kjetil André Aamodt was in a training camp in Austria. And he was training next to us with his father and a team from Oslo. And I was thinking, this guy is going to kill this kid. He was just crazy about the amount of skiing he was doing at that time. Not very many could be able to deal with it. But he did it, and that's why you see the result.
I saw already that I'm gonna have a very hard rivalry in future. Aamodt made a lot of good fights. Like, for example, I have in memory the Olympics in '92.
So all a cheer! So then tell me what Norway to welcome the team from the great land of Norway.
This Super G, you know, it's one of the most difficult ones, you know. So then on the day of the Super G, it was really bad weather. Chaos by the start, you know, because it was a provisorial start. We didn't warm up at all because the weather was so bad.
Brilliant young Norwegian here, Kjetil André Aamodt.
It's foggy, I didn't see anything where to go.
He's got a bit of miss there and he was wrong on that line, but he's still got good time, 0.6 up. Giardelli.
I was in full attack, I was in full motivated.
You see, I'm pretty aggressive because I just made a big mistake. This is a very steep course. You see the finish at the bottom.
Speed into the turn to keep the speed running out.
I had a good run with almost no mistakes.
Norwegians have found brilliant young skiers, and this is the best of them.
So the aggressiveness and the clean turns I make in this steep hill was quite new at that time. Nobody skied that clean in 1992 like I did.
You never know how fast you approach to a difficult turn or how fast you approach to a jump.
Ooh. And here on the last jump, I was thinking, I just go clean, I have nothing to lose, and it was a long finish.
Yes, he was really pushing on the bottom part of that course, took a big risk, but it's Aamodt, the new leader.
He won the Super G 8/10 in front of me, and I had to say, this time Aamodt was stronger, and he deserved it.
In Albertville, I think that's one of the biggest success that he did.
Olympic gold, that was my first win. I didn't win any World Championship gold medals, I didn't win any World Cup races. The first win was an Olympic gold, you know, 92 Super G.
Gold medal and Olympic champion, Kjetil André Aamodt, Norway.
When you can call yourself an Olympic champion, it means something for the rest of your life.
We talked on the phone, and I say that, Kjetil, you know what you did today? This is really big.
My former life as a skier is in a storage, in a container. Son, so this is my old life in here. We have this from Adelboden, so the Swiss. It's like a magazine. I don't know if I'm in the sports page or whatever. Also, Lasse Kjus, we grew up in the same fashion. We were out playing all the time, both him and me.
They were good friends and really good competitors. So they pushed each other.
Finn his father was still in the atmosphere.
If you should mix two personalities, this is a very good combination.
It was kommer och förstyrr då. It's always in the way. We're trying to make an interview here. Because no noise, we are just talking here.
We build also identity to the team by attacking Vikings. Who are we?
It was the start of what we call the attacking Vikings. It became a winning culture.
Here we have a jacket, but it was from Lillehammer '94, our home Olympics. Maybe the highlight, you know, of my career. I was 22 to have Olympics at home.
You've never seen such excitement from a Norwegian crowd, out in huge numbers, almost 50,000 of them braving the Arctic conditions.
The Lillehammer Olympics was the greatest experience of my life, with all the people, home soil. But it was also, you know, a lot of pressure on the shoulder of a 22-year-old me.
Everybody knew it was so special and everybody wanted to go there. And
The Olympics in Lillehammer 1994 was amazing.
It was an enormous success. And that's when everything took off with the attacking Vikings.
The attacking Vikings, as they've become known, Aamodt and Lasse Kjus are definitely the future of the sport on a global level. Kjetil André Aamodt is the great favourite on home snow here in Lillehammer, and especially in front of fanatical home support.
How's he going? He's 0.59 down. The big surprises so far. 0.79, silver medalist.
The attacking Vikings sweeping everything in their path and making it clear that Norway is now one of the great alpine skiing nations.
I've done 500 races in the World Cup, Olympic Games, World Championships. And actually in Norway, they remember 2 races of that 500. And it's the downhill I lost by 400s in the home soil Olympics, and maybe my last race in Turin in the Super G.
Silver in downhill. Yeah. Lost by 400. Yeah.
just ask his father.
We were going skiing in the weekend, but he wanted to go to this tournament, indoor soccer.
Not one day I skipped until I was 12. I just walked out without training, you know, out the door, and then I could hear my father behind me saying, "Think about this day, my son.
Maybe we will lose the Olympics by 300-400s," and he did.
I actually lost the Olympic gold medal in 1994 in the downhill with 400ths of a second to Tommy Moe. So I had to take the consequence accordingly to my father today, because I didn't train that day, that I lost that Olympic gold medal.
Silvers in the combined and downhill and bronze in the Super G, an achievement in itself for Aamodt.
Medalje winner, the winner of the silver medal, le vainqueur de la médaille d'argent, Kjetil André Aamodt, Norway.
And that was what I did, 2 silver and a bronze. But I was happy with 3 medals, actually. It's a reference in my life forever, the '94 Olympics. Also with all my colleagues, all my Norwegian colleagues, my generation. What did we do in 1994? Well, we had the Olympics. That's what we did do in '95. Don't remember, because nothing happened.
We met for the first time, actually I was 16. It was this summer in 1994 we met again, and I did my training next to them. And when I was done, he was like, "Oh, hi. Okay, if you feel lonely, you can just call." And I was like, "Hello, you know, that's not the way to, you will never ever have a call from me." After we met, the career went really down. So I don't know if, yeah, blame me.
Started to then get cloudy.
Yeah, okay.
Great expectation on Aamodt at these games in Nagano. Aamodt's results have not been consistent over the last few months. You can feel that nothing is really working for him anymore.
Into the Nagano Olympics, my shape was not the best. On the race day, it was blowing, and you remember Hermann Maier, his crash, the most famous crash in the history of alpine skiing. You know, it was impossible to ski 100%. In the second run of the slalom, I really crashed, and I broke my little finger. It's still like that. On the Super G day, I was not confident on the last jump, too safe, lost 3 positions, finished in 5th. In the GS, again, tried to be aggressive. I hooked my arms, I crashed out. In the slalom, I didn't even qualify for the Norwegian ski team. So that was a, you know, terrible feeling. That was the worst period in my career. I forgot that I have to ski technically well and tactically well to win that medal. So I did everything wrong. It was a very big lesson, you know. After that day, I never escaped my nervousness.
Over the years, he got more experience. I think that's the thing, and he was also training mentally, I think.
I was thinking about all my experiences from the Lillehammer Olympics when I crashed. I thought about, you know, how can I accept my nervousness?
2002, Salt Lake City.
Bodie Miller at home is clearly Amot's only rival for the combined title. Let's see what's going to happen.
He was the best slalom skier at that time, my biggest rival in the combined. The gold medal was starting to slip into my pocket. And Bodie Miller was down on his hip again, and he was 2 seconds, 0.44 behind me. I felt I had a good distance before the last slalom run.
Is the leader after the downhill portion and the first slalom run, the great Kjetil André Omat.
I was nervous like never before. You know, I have to accept it. I cannot escape it. This is important. I want to win an Olympic gold medal. It's been 10 years since '92 when I won the first gold.
Omat going for the goal.
And you better believe that he's heard that huge roar down at the bottom earlier as Bodie Miller came in and posted the best time. Steady and consistent, but in 9 slalom races this winter of the World Cup, he has yet to step on the podium. I don't know if he'll be able to find top speed.
He's got a good lead here, 1.62 over Bodie Miller, combining the times of the 3 runs, remember. Omat having a good run.
Skiing a little bit rounder, though. Not taking the same risk.
Coming to the finish line, Omat, and he holds his lead. First place in the gold medal to the Norwegian Kjetil André Omat. Bodie Miller shakes his head. You can read his lips. What a job by Omat. What a job by Bodie Miller. Omat wins his first Olympic gold in combined. That gives him 6 Olympic medals. That's an Alpine record.
So, good, I had a gold medal. I could let my shoulders down. That helped me to win my second gold medal also. The next race was the Super G. It was a very tricky, very steep, difficult Super G. One of my strengths is to actually do a good inspection. That's the most important thing in Super G. And you had to do it that day.
Omat likes to start with an early number in Super G.
This is the new Amot. Amot is lightning fast.
You know, but after winning that combined medal, I mean, I think he knows that the timing is right.
Keep using the word solid in describing him, but that's what he's like. He just seems glued to the snow. Down to the finish line and into first place by 1.75. That's a big lead. Kjetil André Omat.
2 gold medals. Amot confirming himself to be amongst the greatest. Amot writing his name in gold letters on the list of the greatest skiers in the sport's history.
That's only 2 gold medals from Norway.
Winning 2 gold medals, I didn't do it in the Olympic Games. Not before, not after. I was thinking after that gold medal, I could retire right now. Next day I had the operation, and I woke up 32-year-old, and I was thinking maybe I should I continue now? Should I stop?
During my career, I had 14 surgeries. When you're injured, you train 3 times a day. The weeks and the months in summer, they are filled up with rehab and with training. You don't have much time and much energy to do something else than hard training.
I hadn't won anything, since Salt Lake. I was an old injured man, and I was even not sure if I was going to qualify for the Olympics. But you know, you're in the bottom of the pyramid. You think, I'm still in love with the sport. I still want to come back.
As I said before, he was always stronger after injury or sickness. I think it's something just inside him, you know?
And now it's going to go one way, it's going to go up. Maybe a little bit like this, and it did. But I was determined to try to come back.
This was his last attempt, actually.
Kjetil André Aamodt comes to these games in Turin with the status of being almost a veteran.
He was so motivated, he was so strong. In Super G, it will be difficult to beat Aamodt because he's back.
30 seconds.
Not for a long time, but for the Olympics, he's back.
We will be paying particular attention to the duel between the two giants of the alpine skiing world, Aamodt himself and Austrian legend Hermann Maier.
The great Kjetil André Aamodt, 34 years old, from Oslo. 7 Olympic medals, 12 World Championship medals, the most decorated Olympic medalist in the history of the sport. And Aamodt has jumped into a lead, more than 3/10.
Everybody behind me, and the last one on the start then is Hermann Maier, the #1 skier.
Maier still to come. He's so aggressive, attacking the gates here.
He would risk all that down on the turns to the bottom.
Yeah, he's a great champion. I didn't beat him many times, you know.
Kjetil André Aamodt of Norway having a very strong run here.
Well, strong is exactly the right word, Jim. This man is massive, he is powerful, and he's flying.
Very fast. Here he comes down through the final gate. Aamodt of Norway into the lead by 3/10. Kjetil André Aamodt, the 34-year-old veteran, has turned in another great Olympic run. Will it hold up?
Hermann Maier just a few hundredths behind him. The two veterans showing how much they have marked the history of this sport.
I was crying because it was such a strong moment for me.
Just a perfect ending of a long and fantastic career.
It was a very emotional moment. I remember that well.
When he won, I just started crying because I knew this was maybe the end and that he accomplished one more win. It was just amazing.
I remember I talked to Finn on the phone just after finished the goal, and I congratulate him, and he was totally impossible to speak.
And then it was, I cried, my wife cried, everybody cried.
No, it was like the best finish he could have somehow.
There is a life before racing, there is a life after racing. But some of the champions, they are not able to quit, to finish this section of sport. Aamodt doesn't, and he starts to do new things.
3, 2, 1.
24 hours after a success, after a defeat, you know, I'm on the ground again. You have to, next day you have to make something new happen. You know, if you stop living, you die. And then it's the everyday life that, you know, keeps you going, I guess. Yeah, this is all the fan letters that I didn't answer through the years. Or maybe did you answer them?
Yes.
Yes, she did it. She did that work. Love you, mommy.